Welcome back, everybody, to the NBA 2K25 MyNBA expansion series with the Mexico City Aztecs here on our final season that we're going to be watching games for. We are in the NBA Finals coming off a Game 1 victory against the Atlanta Hawks on our home court, led by our two stars, Kylan Moore and John Cobb. Moore put up 37 points and 14 rebounds, and it was incredibly efficient. John Cobb not too far behind, supplying 36 points on 14 made shots. David Dennis also stuffed the stat sheet, dropping 17, 6, and 8. And we had a couple key guys contribute in the passing game, with Williams and McDaniels both getting 5 or more assists apiece. That was a 17-point win. And now the Hawks look to even the series up here in Game 2 and avoid going down 2-0 as they will head to their home court for Games 3 and 4 following this game. And finally, after many weeks, John Cobb is going to be fully healthy for the rest of this series. Shea is still a bit banged up, but lineups will stay the exact same for both teams. And we're going to see if we can really take control now of this NBA Finals matchup. So NBA Finals Game 2 about to begin here in year number 9. John Cobb now at full strength. Aztecs now at full strength. Will this make us even better than our Game 1 performance? Let's find out. And we are officially underway here in Game 2 in Mexico City. Rocking the blood red and black alternates here for these Aztecs, which could be our final time wearing this in a showcased episode in the series. John Cobb, good pump fake, drives and jams to open the scoring here in Game 2. As we already saw, he and Moore were awesome back in Game 1. That first half by Cobb was spectacular, as Shea is able to draw the foul on Mullen on the other end. And we'll see free throws to start for Atlanta. Shea over 17 points a game and 5 rebounds per game in this past regular season. Was not very good, I would say, in Game 1. And has a mismatch at his position here in this series, at least so far, but has yet to really take full advantage. We also saw Adams for the Hawks take a lot of shots, but not quite knock him down. But John Cobb picks up right where he left off. He is our first 5. Speaking of Adams, here he is driving and scoring through the contacts. For those who have been watching my videos as of late, I've been kind of talking about upcoming changes. And I released a video before this one talking about the future of the channel. And after looking at the feedback of that whole discussion, I have a game plan for how I want to move forward. John Cobb is off to a flying start, both literally and figuratively. 2 jams plus a 3-pointer, and he is looking awesome, just like back in Game 1. But back what I was talking about, I think I have a solution for how I want to move forward after this series wraps up in terms of future 2K series. One, I'm probably going to just cancel the Delaware series because looking forward, I'm probably just not going to have time to do both 2K and any other series how I want them, so I'm going to focus on 2K only probably. I'm going to aim for 35 to 40 minutes per video. I'm going to, try to be more concise with my commentary outside of some of these showcase games and just be more to the point, have kind of less fluff. But as part of that, I do also want to kind of keep up with outside fictional players more on other teams and other league storylines, so expect more of that. It might be a bit hit or miss early on, but as I figured out, it'll be better as, series goes on. I'll spend less time on the regular seasons, which means I'll probably do a maximum of 6 videos but I'll probably aim for around 5 on average for each regular season, because folks do tend to like the off seasons more, and that will also give us a quicker timeline to get where I want us to be by, say, episode 50 or 60 in the series. And then finally, to trim down the episodes a bit, I will also just remove a couple of plays from the showcase games, and that will be, you know, if there's a stretch where both teams aren't hitting shots, I won't include all of those missed shots. I'll include some of the more basic scoring plays, but there will still be a lot of action. It just won't be as, you know, play-by-play as it is right now, where I'm pretty much showing every single shot, every single turnover, every single play in the game. So that's kind of where I'm heading with the new format. It'll still be very similar, just a bit more streamlined approach. We're going to get a timeout here, by the way, from Atlanta, as we lead 10-6. Pretty good start once again for the Aztecs, but still a long way to go. Hawks with it, Law slips inside, nice move, and he finishes that play with the left hand. Law also had plenty of volume. I think he was the best player, at least in the first half of Game 1. And I do expect the Hawks to have a better game here. I doubt they're going to shoot as poorly as they did in the first game, especially for Adams and Law in the second half of that game. But he was still pretty good. I also would expect Risa Shea to be more involved, but also one big note from last game was that Harrison Sally was, like, oddly quiet. Meanwhile, Ronald Adams has now 2 very tough finishes here at the rim, and we are all tied at 10 apiece. Here's Cobb driving and finishing. Adams called for the foul. John Cobb, 9 points already, 4 for 6 from the field. The free throw gives him double digits. And that one's denied. Adams has it rejected by Kylan Moore, who has yet to score here in this game after a 37-point outburst in Game 1, as Dunn picks up his second block of John Cobb here in the first quarter. Sally gets the feed inside, kicks it back out, and now it's Adams in possession. He's looking for some room. Crosses over a couple times against Cobb. He cooked him on one play last game. That was a big highlight for him. Dunn has to force it, but it's denied by Kylan Moore. Now Moore is doubled by Sally and Risa Shea. Good recovery on defense as another block comes in for Atlanta, but now a shooting foul on the back end. That's on Sally. So pretty decent paint protection by these big men for the Hawks. They are a much larger team than we are in terms of heights and size. But the free throws from Mullen are both good. The 5-point lead. Risa Shea gets a good look from downtown, but cannot connect. Mullen pulls it down. Cobb, step back 3. Almost had it, but it's out. On the other end, here's Sally, mismatched against Mullen. Finds the open man. This time, Risa Shea knocks it down. Here's McDaniels. Back out to Dylan Young, now on the floor. He finds Cobb. Wide open triple. He's back online. Sally getting physical. Completely got rid of McDaniels, but cannot take advantage of the good space that he created. And Kylan Moore just rocket ships to the rack for 2. What a play. That was an unstoppable force right there through the air. And our lead, out of nowhere, extends to 7 points. Still about 5 minutes left to go here in the first quarter. The offense has been really good once again. Adams, no good on the open mid-range shots. Cobb from the corner, gets by Risa Shea, but can't finish the play at the hoop. Catch and shoot triple now, and Adams laces that one from deep. Screen from McDaniels. Into a three-pointer. Off the back iron for John Cobb. On the other end, it's Leonard Law. Inside. High off the window. Too strong. Baseline. Back out. Wide open triple. And Kylan Moore sinks it off the Cobb assist. Screen from Risa Shea now. Adams against Cobb. Works his way inside, hands it off, and wow. That is a cheap foul call on Kylan Moore. That was a clean block in my eyes. Referee disagrees. Free throws for Atlanta. Risa Shea goes 1 for 2. Ends up being a good foul. On the other end, Kylan Moore slips behind the defense. Okongwu not able to get his hands on that steal. Pulling up. No, it's a pass out of a shot. What a move by A.J. Johnson. And Okongwu rocks the rim. Off the screen. Mullen attacks the basket and draws the first on Johnson. Third on Atlanta. 2:29 left here in the first quarter now as Mullen misfires on the front ends and splits the pair. Good kick out. Wang for 3. Rebound tip to Okongwu. He goes up with it. Too strong. Got it back again. Law. No good. And we end up with a big stop after a couple of opportunities. Mullen right to the hoop on the other side. And our lead extends to 9. Downhill. Blocked by Mullen. Johnson thought he was free, but he wasn't. 3 for Dylan Young comes off the rim. You've seen some very quick offense from these Aztecs, trying to once again take advantage of our defensive stops. Law on the move. That one's offline. Good pass behind the defense, stepping back, and Kylan Moore drops it in for the deuce. Already 10 assists for the Aztecs here in Q1. Johnson using the space behind the screen, but still can get his shot to fall. Good pass. Jalen Williams through the contacts. No foul is called, but our lead extends to our largest of the night already. It's 32-19. The Hawks offense has gone completely quiet, and it's once again the Aztecs who are in full control here in the opening quarter of play. Reminiscent of Game 1. A.J. Johnson finally drops one in. Final play here in the quarter. Dylan Young rises but can't connect from downtown. And Mexico City leads by 10 here through 1. John Cobb leading scorer for either team. Start of the second quarter. Cold offense once again to open the game for the Hawks. They go to Adams here for another tough finish at the rim. That has been his go-to scoring option here in the game. All 3 buckets for him, except for his three-pointer, have come from about a foot away and through some contact too. Here's Dylan Young. Across court, finds Cobb. Shot clock's under 5. Cobb has to create. Dices inside for 2. Here's Adams rising and connecting from deep. Cobb downhill again. Stutter steps and hands it off to Dennis instead. Here he is downhill. Off the window and curling off the rim. The second foul, though, on A.J. Johnson. And David Dennis, one of the most reliable free throw shooters in the entire league. Best on the team. Hits both. Waiting for the screen now. Here's Adams firing from downtown. That one's offline. David Dennis pulls down the rebound. Quick shot for J-Dub on the other end, but it comes out. Another three for Adams on the way. Top of the key, and that one is off target. Another quick shot. Dennis can't connect. I've liked our fast pace and high tempo offense so far, but some of these pull-up jumpers on the fast breaks have not been dropping in so far. They keep going to number 2. This time he got it to drop. 14 points now for Adams on 60% shooting. And we're going to call timeout. Kylan Moore back in the game. Gives Dennis some space with the screen, and he knocks it down. Adams wide open. Catch and shoot from the elbow, and the Hawks, just like game 1, are sticking around within a couple of buckets, but not exactly keeping it like entirely close, as David Dennis just put Johnson on the floor. Downhill, Johnson, baseline lay-in. Beautiful play. Nice handoff. Cobb through the contact, left it short, but results in a foul and a couple of free throws. Cobb got off to a 4 for 6 starts, has since then shot 2 for 6, but still playing very well, drawing some contacts and hitting free throws. Adams again, high volume here in the first half, and why not? 19 first half points, 12 of those here in this quarter alone. It's only been less than 5 minutes of action here in the second quarter, and he's been backpacking the Hawks offense. Here's Cobb, rising, contested shot, won't go, and Ralph Dunn pulls it down. A bucket could make things very close. Sally misses the fadeaway. Screen for Cobb. He waves it off, steps back, but can't knock it down. Hawks taking advantage of our offensive cold spell. Adams draws the foul on Cobb. It's the first on him. We saw Adams draw plenty of fouls back in game 1. That was about half of his scoring coming at the line. He will add to it here and cut our lead to 4. Inside the paint, Maurice Mullen against Adams. Really good defense, good paint protection by Adams. Playing well on both ends here in the second quarter. A bucket could make it a one-score game for Atlanta. Johnson can't connect. His rough start continues. And we give it right back. Sally gets the loose ball away from McDaniels. Mismatch inside here for Dunn. He'll fade away. Sally gets the rebound and puts it back in for 2. Kylan Moore wants it here in the high posts. Working against Dunn. Shot clock counting down. He's going to fade away. And he got it. That's why he's a superstar. He's 5 for 5. Picking his spots carefully and making some tough ones too. Timeout Hawks. A pull-up for Adams on line. This guy cannot be stopped right now. Up to 23 points. He's keeping the Hawks in this game right now. Now we have a ball game on our hands here with just a tick over 5 minutes left to go in the half. Kylan Moore steps back again. This time it's no good. On the other end, he pokes the ball loose, and Williams ends up with it to force the turnover. Need some offense from somebody. It's gonna be from David Dennis right on cue. There's a lane for Adams. Another foul is called. This guy is just willing them to be in this game. He's got over half their points at this stage. Misses the front end. It goes 1 for 2. Downhill, Mullen gets by Adams and draws the and one. Big play right here for Mullen, who's been pretty solid so far. I've liked his play. Hasn't been jacking up tough shots. Okongwu throws it up and in with the left hand, and it rolls in off the front iron. Hawks shooting 47%, Aztecs just a hair over 50%. We've been very efficient so far in this series. Still a lot of basketball left. Mullen steps into an open shot and makes no mistake. Double screens for Adams. Mullen still attached to him, and he's called for another foul, his third. Adams must have 99 draw foul because he's been doing this to us quite frequently. The free throws are both perfect. Out to Mullen, same spot as last time, same results. Now he's getting hot out there. 4 double screens for Adams. Keeps Mullen on his hip, and Kylan Moore comes over and blocks the shots. It still got to the rim, but did not find a way through. Aztecs holding on to an 8-point lead. Jalen Williams tries one from very long range. It's not going to go. Law on the other end, left it short. Good shot contest at the rim by Dylan Young. Here's Mullen pulling up from downtown. That one's off. Ricochet the rebound. Up to Okongwu. Outlet to Adams in the corner. That one won't drop in. And Dylan Young is there on the glass. Good cut by J-Dub. Nobody home for Atlanta. And our lead extends back to double digits. Blocked! What a play by Williams. Ricochet never saw him coming. Dylan Young now working on Adams. Back out. Open 3 for McDaniels. He absolutely buries it. The offense has come alive, and just like game 1, we do it because of our defense. Defense becomes offense. Stops equal runs. Okongwu the pick. The shot from Adams won't drop in. And the Hawks offense has come to a screeching halt. Maurice Mullen tries again from long range, but it won't go. Now Wang, wide open. Hard to miss that kind of a shot. That's a great look. Isolation for Mullen, going right at Adams to the hoop, and I can't believe he missed it. 1 second shot clock differential. Hawks could save for the final shot here in the first half and close the gap to less than 10. Here's Law. Shrugging off Young, but it's too strong. Now the Aztecs have a chance to advance. 5 seconds left. Kylan Moore over Law. Nails it! I think he still only missed 1 shot here in the half, and we lead by 13 points at the break. 62-49. We're once again in control. Underway here in the second half. Very similar story as to game 1. Can the Hawks put together a different second half and make things a lot more interesting here? Kylan Moore, the dribble and the fadeaway shot, but it's no good. He loves to play that AD style of offense where he'll have some games where he just completely owns the post, but other games he likes to step back and fadeaway jumpers over smaller defenders. Dished out to Cobb. Wide open. Look. Get an off-ball foul from Moore. Shot's no good. Screen comes up from Don. He rolls inside, gets the feed, and finishes. He's got All 4 to open the quarter for Atlanta. Dennis, catch and shoot, triple, drops it in off the Cobb assist. He's got 11 here in this one. He had a 15-point first half in game 1. It was impressive, but also somehow a quiet 15 points. Only scored once the rest of the way in that second half. Here's Adams, back to Risa Shea, who's still been held in check in this one. Law jacks one up. Too strong, but Dunn tracks it down and keeps it alive with the Hawks. They've had plenty of offensive rebounds in this game. And plenty of free throws, too. More on the way for Adams. Front end is up and in there. And he goes 2 for 2. And that pass is cut off by Adams. Turnover by McDaniels leads to a fast break jam for Sally. Downhill, Dennis from the elbow. Nothing but nylon. Timeout Hawks. Screens for Risa Shea. His 3 is online. And they've cut our lead down to 7. It was a 13-point halftime lead. They've outscored us by 6 here in the early stages of the second half. Trying to make things a bit closer. That's going to be a clear foul. Putting Mullen back at the line for a pair. He's got 17 points. He's been great here in this game so far. A big offensive outputs for a guy that we've known about since facing him in the finals back in year 6, where he played for the Cavaliers and gave us and our own defense some problems. Risa Shea with 5 straights. Baseline, and Cobb lost the handle. Adams with 2 steals here in the third quarter alone. And now Sally, a foul on the other end. At the line for 2. Can cut the game down to a 5-point lead for Mexico City. And that he does. Mismatch here for Dennis on Sally. Hands it off to Cobb for a nice finger roll finish. Good move by Law. Does not create a whole lot of space that time. And cannot complete the play. On the other end, Mullen right to the hoop. But probably the weakest part of his offensive game, scoring-wise, has got to be that he's just not great at finishing at the rim when there's a body between him and the hoop. He frequently misses some of those layups that stronger players like Cobb are usually finishing. And our lead is cut to 5 with that last basket. Mullen's open, but a wide open miss. Now opening for Atlanta here. Adams just dancing out, but Sally is there on the offensive glass. And it's 71-68. That's a deep 3. And McDaniels sees it just rattle out. Unlucky. Up ahead, Sally shields him off for back-to-back buckets. He's been more involved, but he's been making his own opportunities here by grabbing at least 3 offensive rebounds to this point. And it's got Atlanta back within 1. Dennis pulls up and hits again from the charity stripe. Downhill, firing over a tough defender in McDaniels, and Law can't get it to go. He's been held in check so far. He's been quiet offensively. McDaniels. That was one of the worst shots I've seen in quite some time from this team. Inside, and Dunn slips by McDaniels. Rough stretch for him on both ends. Dennis blows by Law. Sally picks some up, but not in time. The strength by Dennis to finish through that contact is unparalleled. The free throw is good. Bobbing it up, and that one's blocked away. A good play finally by McDaniels, and Cobb takes advantage on the other end with a two-handed flush. Tough shot. Leonard Law sees it bounce off the rim after a couple of touches there. 6-point game here. We've kept every run at base so far by the Hawks, but they have crept back in this thing slowly but surely. Cobb, wide open, drops it in, top of the key. Backdoor, Johnson, no good. Cobb picked him up perfectly there. On the other end, Dennis backdoor with the finish. And our lead is back to 11. Wide open three now for Johnson. Man, what a cold game for him. He has let his teammates down time after time here in this one. If he can't pick things up, it's going to be too late for Atlanta. McDaniels out to Mullen. Screen, frees him up. The three, no good. But Kylan Moore's there on the offensive glass. Goes up against Sally. Keeping him on his hip. Great move. From the corner, it's Johnson. Still cannot find anything to drop on his jumpers. McDaniels throws up another tough one, but this time able to draw the foul on Johnson. It's been a really long stretch to forget here for him. A game to forget, I would say. But McDaniels misses the front ends and splits the pair. Downhill, it's Leonard Law, picked up by Young, and even he is having a tough night. Up ahead, it's Cobb, wide open again as Johnson missed time to steal. And now we have our largest lead of the entire game at 17. Backdoor and stolen. Young cuts off the pass intended for Law. Cobb drives and jams. He's picking up some steam here to close Q3. And the fans are on their feet as the Aztecs lead by nearly 20 points. This is almost beat for beat exactly how Game 1 went. Absolutely unreal. Here's Law trying to find a way inside. Has to kick it out. Risachet misses from downtown. What a pass over the top. Air Mexico with the finish. Their field goal percentage has fallen. Ours has only risen. And they cannot find a stop on the defensive end. Their offense has been very streaky in this game so far. A.J. Johnson has been a letdown. And only one man has been good for them all game, and that's Adams, who is not currently on the floor. 1 minute to go here in the third quarter. Sundin for two. And this game is really getting away from Atlanta right now. Decent look for Law, but a bit of a long-range shot that time. It's no good. Backdoor. Young is fouled by Law. Free throws on the horizon. And just like game one, probably just gonna sim the fourth quarter because this game is gonna be all said and done. The Hawks again showed plenty of fights. They made a couple of runs to keep things close for a while, but in the end the game got away from them here in the third quarter after making things very interesting at a couple of different points. Adams back out there, continues to pour it on, but he's the only guy that is playing well tonight. Final play of the third quarter, and Cobb is able to draw the foul. The Hawks just are not able to get off the defensive side of the courts without allowing something to go in. This time it's a couple of free throws as Cobb knocks down both. And the third quarter is going to come to an end. Adams brings it up. Jacks up a tough three and absolutely nails it. What a shot, but still a 21-point game. This one is about to be over. I think it already is. We sim to the end here as the Aztecs are going to finish with an even better margin than Game 1 as we dominate the Hawks in Game 2 and take a 2-0 series lead here in the NBA Finals. Final score of 138-117. That third quarter was the difference in this game. The Hawks got within 2 points at one point there in the second, got within, I think, 4 in the third quarter. But in the end, the Aztecs put together a strong finish to Q3, and that is enough to put together a great margin of victory. Kylan Moore, player of the game. Not shocked. John Cobb leads the way, dropping 35 points. He did foul out just like back in Game 1, but the game is already over by that point. Maurice Mullen, a big 29 points on 8 for 17 shooting. Dennis and Kylan Moore both shoot 10 for 13. Moore has been incredibly efficient from the field and has been dominant on the glass. He puts together 4 blocks and 1 steal as well here in this one, just doing it all on both ends. 12 off the bench for Jalen Williams, and good passing by both McDaniels and Dylan Young, filling their roles very well. Ronald Adams supplies 46 of the Hawks' 117, but nobody else was really on their game. Johnson did finish the game strong, shoots 8 for 16, but it was all too late. Law had a rough day. Risa Shea was not very efficient. Neither was Harrison Sally. And that's all you need. Just gotta keep their star players down. Only allow one guy to pop off is not a big deal. And we hold them to 44% as a team as we shoot nearly 60%. Hard to lose when you're playing this well offensively. The Hawks, like Game 1, never led. So it's been dominant so far. I know it's our last series, but with 2K26 coming out at the end of August with early access, I do plan to, in this episode, get us through Game 3 as well, which will come on the road. So we're going to simcast at least the first half, jump in if it's hopefully close in the second half, and then we'll, perhaps if we win this game, close out this series, this NBA Finals series, I should say, next episode, and then a few days after that, we will put together the long-term sim to bookend this entire Aztecs series. Leonard Law broke his nose, but he can play through it. He's going to be wearing a mask, probably. Risa Shea is going to be fully healthy entering this game. So here we go. First road game for the Aztecs here in the series. First home game for Atlanta, trailing 2-0 now. And they're off to a flying start. Their offense is back at home and they're feeling like it. 43 in the first quarter. Aztecs put up less than 30. Trying to claw our way back in here in the second, but the Hawks are keeping us at bay. Third quarter. It's been our quarter in the series so far, and so far it's holding true here in this game as we are cutting their lead down. But it's a 10-point game here, 11 minutes left to go. Let's watch the rest of it. So here we go, finally a different story unfolding here in Atlanta as they are looking to avoid a 3-0 series deficit. Aztecs with it, trailing by 10. McDaniels, the catch and shoot 3 offline, and Sally comes down with the rebounds. They've been a great rebounding team all season long. Sally toilet bowls it around the rim and in. Dennis with it, working against Ronald Adams, but kept outside of the paint. Clock under 10. Williams the screen. Dennis driving, stepping back, pulling up. No good. Johnson finds Dunn on the pick and roll. And right now, it's looking like the Hawks are going to be in control, at least to start the fourth quarter. Got to find some offense here. We've got McDaniels, Kylan Moore, Williams, Mullen, and Dennis out there. Cobb on the bench, at least for now. And Mullen looking to isolate on Johnson. Drives it and finishes. Double screens. But Adams picks up his dribble. Johnson, baseline, waiting for a screen. Penetrates, hands it off, and Dunn misses the dunk. Mullen leads the fast break, finds Dennis. Good pump fake, penetration, and the finish. Adams, clock under 5, has to make something happen, and he left it short. David Dennis the stop and the rebounds. Can this be the spark we need to spark a run? Williams, the mid-ranger, offline. Cobb and Dylan Young and Sundin all at the scores table now. We'll check in soon. Under 8 to play here in the fourth quarter of Game 3. Hawks desperate for a win here. Adams, backdoor for 2. The lane opens up. Dennis spins, but missed it. That was a good move to create some space. Adams, wow, the crossover just had Dennis looking lost out there. Lead back to 14. Reese Mullen with it, working against A.J. Johnson. Fades away, left it short. We've taken 10 more shots than them and have made 3 less. Shooting has been the difference in this game. The offense has been way slower than the first 2 games. But now a fast break. Mullen has to finish, and he does with the foul called on Johnson. That will allow those 3 players to finally check in. Kylan Moore, one of them, so Sundin heads back to our bench, does not get his chance here in the fourth quarter, but Mullen misses the free throw. Inside to Dunn. Good contest, a better finish. Good play. Downhill through the traffic, and a foul is called on Ralph Dunn. That's his 3rd. Free throws for Kylan Moore. We're kind of hanging around, but we're going to have to make a run here soon to really have a chance to close this game in a good way and come out on top here. The free throws are both online. Open 3 for Leonard Law. Wow. John Cobb, the pick. Dylan Young scanning. Law picks him up. He's double-teamed and still hits the one-handed floater. That was a really different shot than we're used to from him. Look at that. The Hawks have shot 55% to our 44. That's just too big of a gap to make up for. Deep 3. Adams too strong. A 3 could make it a 10-point game. Out to Young. Now Mullen. Offense slows down a bit here. Setting up for a Cobb triple, but won't actually get the pass here. Moore keeps it himself. Floats one up with the left hand and sees it rattle out. Almost stole it. Sally's got a lane and is fouled by Kylan Moore. That's his 5th. It's feeling like the Hawks are just in control. They're playing a lot better defense. Their offense has been better as well. But there's still time. Dennis McDaniels back out there. And Sally misses both free throws. And they come up empty on this trip as Kylan Moore missed it at the rim. Adams the contest, and that was enough to jar it loose. Wow. You gotta finish those next time. Deep triple for Sally. That is ill-advised. Inside to Dylan Young, and he goes up with it for a strong finish. Downhill. Law. Wow, that was strong. Dylan Young for three. He got fouled on it. 5 on Ricochet. 3 free throws. Praying that Young could hit at least 2 of them. Got the first one to go. If he hits all 3, it could be a 10-point game, which will still be a solid, margin for us to make up for. He does hit all 3. Big free throws. 3:40 left to go. We still have time. Adams with it. They clear out for him. 1-on-1, and Cobb is called for the foul. This is probably how it feels to play against Cobb. Drawing all these fouls, huh? Adams is able to hit both. Off-ball screens. Dylan Young. Picked up by Sally. Back out to Dennis. He'll take a triple and connects. Or we're within 9 now. Downhill. Handed off. Cross court now to Ricochet. Block under 5. Will take this 3. He does. And it's out, but Sally's on the glass. But Adams can't put it back in from downtown. If we score here, things might get a little bit dicey for Atlanta, but Sally makes a defensive play. Inside to Dennis, handed off. McDaniels missed it. Back-to-back misses by him in the same possession. That one hurts. Adams, the pull-up triple on the other end. 9 here in the fourth quarter. He's got 24 in total. 12-point game. Now is the time to make the run. You don't have any time left. You got to start it now. Moore fades. Misses it against Adams. And now Adams, another 3-point play. He draws the foul on Cobb. And this could put it away for Atlanta. MVP chance for Adams. Finishes the 3-point play. And the Hawks lead by 15 points. Probably too much for us to overcome here in Game 3. And Atlanta uses their home court advantage to get back into this series. 2-1. They avoided a 3-0 deficit. They win here at home. And we might have a series on our hands after all. After 2 heartbreaking and defeating losses, they come back and win Game 3 by about 10 points. Meanwhile, the Aztecs will look back to the drawing board to get ready for Game 4. Once again, Ronald Adams leads the way, dropping 27 points on 16 shot attempts. Harrison Sally, a big effort here in this one. Every player scores at least double digits for the Hawks. And they take this one. Despite 28 for Cobb on efficient scoring, Kylan Moore had one of his weaker games of the series. In fact, it is going to be his worst performance so far through 3 games. Hard to top the other 2. Dennis, I thought, played pretty well overall, but Mullen 4 for 13, and just not enough stops on defense. And so that will do it here in this one, folks. The Hawks are making things a little more interesting here, and we're going to go back to Atlanta for Game 4. Next episode, a chance for them to tie the series up. We'll probably go through at least 2 more games that episode, and then we'll probably wrap up after that if we're not already done here in the series, folks. So that will be it for this episode. Thanks for watching as always. Please like the video, subscribe if you're new, leave your feedback down below, and I'll see y'all in part 3 of the NBA Finals.